I'd like to take some time to share with you why Redeemer exists. The most important factor motivating our formation, at least for me, was a dissatisfaction with how a lot of American churches across denominations go about their life. Most are partisan in their politics and in how they understand Jesus, and many, frankly, don't seem to believe that God can actually meet us in our worship. Instead, worship services aren't all that different from a Rotary Club meeting or a rock concert with a TED Talk. I also think most American churches are using the wrong language to reach people. We're still telling people they are guilty sinners and need a Savior, and while that's true, it doesn't resonate with a lot of our hearts. Instead of feeling guilt, more people in Western culture now feel shame. We're a people deeply ashamed of ourselves in a lot of ways and are desperately looking for community where we can be freed from that shame. The good news of Jesus is that He loves you just the way you are and is not at all ashamed of you. He wants you to feel loved, accepted, and safe, and He also wants you to feel whole, like there isn't something missing inside of you. And to do that, He wants to show all of us a new way to be human. Lastly, most American churches are doing a bad job discipling people, of showing people how to be this new humanity. It seems a lot of churches' plan is for us to show up for a Sunday service and just throw words at us about God, hoping that anything sticks. Instead, we need to have a deliberate, thoughtful, and loving approach to teach people in their head and in their heart and with their hands and their feet how to continually become this new humanity, a people like Jesus Christ. I'll close with sharing a reason that is not a factor in our existence. Many of us in Redeemer are coming into the Free Methodist Church out of the heartbreaking split happening within the United Methodist Church. This split is largely along theological lines surrounding the church's understanding of human sexuality. The UMC as a whole is trying to be a denomination that makes room for Christians who fall on all sides of this theological spectrum. And I respect that, because a church absolutely should be open to anyone, regardless of what they believe, as long as they have a heart to grow closer to Jesus and learn to follow and obey Him more and more. Redeemer forms not ultimately because of theological disagreements, but primarily because of leadership in the UMC, which has frequently failed to lead, and its governing structure, which is essentially broken. That combines with some personal dynamics at the local level that very sadly led us to the last resort decision that a new Wesleyan voice is needed in our community. We're not forming with the intention of taking people from other churches. I'm a big believer that if you have a church home, the only reason you should leave is if you feel God telling you to do so in any of the number of ways in which God can communicate to us. If you are looking for a church, I definitely hope you'll consider us. Our main focus will be on folks who have given up on church, or have been barely hanging on, or who know next to nothing, or indeed nothing at all, about Jesus, the church, or Christianity. We look forward to establishing great relationships with all of our community churches and with all the people in our community, and we hope to be in communication with and service to all of you, regardless of who you are.